Hello! Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Fabled Narrative, and let's get right into this. Well, Just Right. Just Right. I used to be a fan of Just Right, and I haven't watched him in a while because it's. When he had a conversation with the EFAP crew, anybody who does not know what EFAP is, I highly recommend to go checking it out. It's called Every Frame a Pause. Ever since then, when having a discussion about objective truth, he always curtailed at the moment that of trying to be pinned down as saying that, oh, there's an objective way to look at art. Because the moment that you say there is an objective way to look at art, then you are disenfranchising or calling out, or you're demeaning another person's point of view.
If you were to write an essay for like analyzing a book, right, you do have to back up your position. If you're making a thematic analysis of any kind of text, like, you have to come up with evidence, right? Like, that's important in order to convince someone else that it's the truth. But it's still a true fact that it's true for you. It's still not objective. It's still subjective, right?
Why?
Because it depends on, well, first of all, because other people can still, you can always levy a counter argument.
Unless you're going to say that, like, everything in reality is based on just how we see things, that nothing is, like, has a basis. We're not going to that point, right? Like, we all agree that, say, for example, gravity and different laws exist. Like, there are things that you have to abide to when you're writing your story. These things getting broken are errors, whether or not you feel they are.
I just don't understand why you feel the need to, like, separate out what your viewing of the film is versus what your, like, guess
the robot,
at what, like, as what the robot, right? Like,
it's so that we agree,
like, why,
instead of constantly fighting. As I know how altruistic that sounds, but I'm not kidding when I say, like, it makes conversations so much easier. Because if you tell us Last Jedi is a masterpiece because these amazing characters, blah blah blah, and then we come back with, but that doesn't make sense because of this, then you go, okay, both of our interpretations. I'm like, whoa, we have our interpretations, but let's see which one actually lines up with the facts. We can agree on it and then go home.
Okay, so the entire video right here, I highly recommend to go check this out. I'll have the link down below.
I knew what I needed to do and how to do it.
America is obsessed with work.
He presents this entire argument of America is an overworked, valuing the individual work that you do, trying to obtain a level of prestige and honor and respect and glory and phenomenal wealth, etc., from achieving something as an individual, which may be incredibly difficult, if not near impossible, doing the amount of work that is required to have your name be plastered on the boards, that 0.0000004% of the population of the planet are actually people who people care about in general. Your celebrity status because you rise above. That as you focusing on your individual activities, your own individual work, that you will claim that your desire to achieve this near impossible level of, I want to be the very, very best, which is unlikely for the majority of people, 94%. 94% plus, and that statistics is in my mind because we're going to get to a statistics with 6%.
On average, Americans work longer hours than other developed countries.
Why is that wrong? Why is that wrong? Let's listen to that again.
On average, Americans work longer hours than other developed countries.
What is the average hours worked per week worked in the US? Well, 34.4 hours. You used to have a 40-hour work week. Now it's down to 34.4 hours. So regardless of whether or not we are working longer than other people, living within America specifically, you have the luxury of not needing to work that many hours to achieve a level of sustainability, food, shelter, clothes, reliant transportation, more importantly, connection to other people. Because of the internet, there's one statistic of COVID-19 forces more people to work from home. Well, about a third of Americans are working from home because of the coronavirus. The technology that enables this has been around for many years. It's called the internet. But it took a pandemic to force the move to remote work. Both my sister and brother-in-law are working at home. They're at home with their son. What's wrong with that? You work at home for 34-ish hours, and honestly, they don't really work 34-ish hours. They're pretty much done by 3. It's just so baffling that Just Right is not complaining. He's not bitching about it. He's presenting it as a very serious concern that you need to be thinking about and taking into consideration of how you know what, this statistic of being overworked, because you overwork, there's many health concerns and health problems that come from that. Noticing that Atlantic, oh man, you chose Atlantic. They came out stating that Trump said horrible things about veterans. And they had 4 anonymous sources. The White House has now 10 on the record sources debunking the Atlantic article. So him mentioning, and he brought this out on September 8th. He brought this out on September 8th. He released the video, and his entire point at the very beginning, the first article he uses is from the Atlantic, which has been proven to spout fake news. The White House came out and said, this is fake news, Atlantic. He says it in the video, and we're going to show you. But the CDC data table is based off an analysis of death certificates that mention COVID-19 as a cause. For 6% of the deaths, COVID-19 was the only cause mentioned. Let's say that again. 6% of the deaths of COVID-19 were the only cause mentioned in all of these deaths. Of the 161,000 deaths that happened, 6% of them were because of the thing. Of the 160, let's do some math here. 161,332 times 0.06. About 10,000. We can even round it up. 10,000 deaths that happened in America because of this. You need to keep that in mind because Just Right is going to be mentioning something that is going to skew your mind away from the truth, trying to bend it towards, hey guys, this is bad. This is what I want you to think. This is how I want you to feel, rather than here's some evidence, here's some proof.
I think the numbers speak for themselves on what America...
Yeah, 189,000. Let's go to 200,000. 12,000 dead specifically because of the COVID virus itself. Why is he not bringing this information up? He's trying to paint a picture that's leading you down the wrong path. Well, it's like, well, wait a second. If you're basing your entire premise off of just whatever it is, everything's subjective, well, then me disliking your video is not wrong. If anything, you should be encouraging people to dislike the video because that would be also as correct as somebody liking the video, which we both know is a bullshit claim in of itself, but because you have false information within the video, therefore, me disliking the video would mean that you being wrong is a good thing to continue giving other people exposure to? I don't get it. I don't get your logic, sir.
And you shouldn't have to work in a pandemic in order to be able to survive.
You shouldn't have to work in a pandemic to survive. He is literally a but he has this brilliant ability to make a video that looks pretty, that makes you feel like you're thinking about stuff. Let's listen to that again.
You shouldn't have to work in a pandemic in order to be able to survive.
What do you mean? What about the people that are working online? You have no requirement to work online anymore?
What is the average hours worked per week worked in the U.S.? 34.4 hours. Both my sister and brother-in-law are working at home.
Just Right. I don't know if you knew this. You're working at home. Just Right. Your life is at home. Nearly 600,000 subscribers. How many of those did you have to go to a commercial property to sit in an office room to make your Just Right videos? You created an entire business at home. Wow, poor you little I'm like, you're oh my gosh, you're complaining about the very system that people are now being more accustomed to. People can work at home now. There's no reason to be in big cities. What you created here was trying to paint a picture based off of falsehood that is currently have already been debunked. You are on the train down nowhere. You are leading people onto a path that doesn't bring anyone back, which is an unfortunate thing because I think you are just so down your rabbit hole that success doesn't mean that you have to be correct, which means you've proven that you are the elitist. You are that class structure that has more subscribers, more influence than somebody else. Guess how many people you're going to be influencing this bullshit. Thank you very much for being a part of this. Please post your comments, questions, and concerns right down below because I do want to hear from you. Please smash that like and subscribe button because that would greatly help this channel out. And most importantly, please go out and do wonders. Go do great things. Isn't it nice to do great things? It is nice. It's awesome to do great things. Go do great things. Go do them now, dang it. The world demands it. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Thank you very much for being a part of this, and I'll see you next time. Beep.